Welcome everybody, I'm Alexander Linz, head of content of WatchAdvisor.com, the largest search engine for wristwatches and official retailers on the web. I am now here in Basel 2018, of course, at the booth of Chronoswiss. With me, Oliver Ebstein. Welcome, Oliver.
Good morning.
Good morning, welcome. Oliver Ebstein and his charming wife took over Chronoswiss in 2012. They bought the company from Gerd Rüdiger Lang at the time being. And today, his company, his owner and CEO, is celebrating the 30th anniversary of the Regulator, that regulator dial, the special version of a dial to indicate time. How special is the Regulator for Chronoswiss, Oliver?
It's our main model. You have so many watches out in the market, over 500 brands, and we want to be different. So our USP is the Regulator. It's a different time indication where you have the
Can we see that in the camera?
Yeah. Great. You have the central minute hand, and you have a decentralized second and a decentralized hour. And the look is very different to anything else, and this has become our main model. In all different means, different complications, etc., based on the Regulator. 80% of our production today is Regulators.
Is the Regulator celebrating its 30th anniversary? The dial was taken at the time originates from these big clocks that were in the watchmaker ateliers, so the watchmaker could easily read the minute, and the hour was not so important. It was to focus on the most important thing, the minute.
Exactly. Yeah. It originally came from the wall clocks.
Pendulum clocks,
yeah. Which used to be in these times the most exact clocks. So you had them for radio stations, for train stations. You had them, as you said, in production halls for regulating the watch because it was most precise, and it was the minute hand that was used for the watchmakers to regulate.
And for this little, let's say it's not little, it's 30 years, it's something. It's not a little anniversary, it's a big anniversary. It's an adult 30 years. You have been doing a special version. Can you just present us or to our audience the piece you have been doing for this anniversary?
Of course. I think important is we love old handicrafts. So you see the guilloche dial, all the different little tiny bits and pieces of blue dials, etc. So that's important for us. But on the other hand, we try to create the fusion between avant-garde design and these old handicrafts. So we're taking it into the next generation, making it more modern, but still with a traditional touch.
And all the watches are manufactured in Lucerne?
They're all manufactured in Lucerne.
Handmade mostly?
Handmade mostly, yes. Yeah. So it's not only Swiss made, it's Lucerne made. So
great. So the watch is here. Maybe you show it into the camera.
Yes, or okay. Shall I explain some of things?
Yeah, you can. You go.
Please. Because we always try to be a bit edgy, be different than the others, do new things. Even talking about bitcoins, etc., that we started accepting, trying to go to the edge. And what we did this year here, taking this regulator, which is called the open gear, it's the first time that we use a technical dial, meaning that the dial is not only for aesthetic reasons and for showing the time, but you see here the opening up to look into the movement, so it's a part of skeletonized dial. And at the other hand, at the same time, it's becoming a part of the movement because you see the bridges here. So we took the regulator mechanics on top of the dial. You see the wheels here, the wheels down here. So it has become a technical dial. Today the dial is not only aesthetic, but it's part of the movement. So that's the special thing about
showcasing the technology.
Exactly, part of it, and that's the special thing about the open gear that we are presenting here in Basel.
Big cinema for the wrist.
Big cinema for the wrist. Nice way to put it.
Yeah.
Exactly. And
people are using a watch not only to read the time, they're enjoying what they have on the wrist.
Absolutely. But on the other hand, it's important to be able to read the time. So that's why we also put Superluminova into the hands. A watch always needs to be also a technical instrument.
Yeah.
So that's important. Too many people also today, they make crazy watches and then you want to read it and it's impossible. So keep in mind, traditional watchmaking.
Are you doing kind of a test? A lot of people do that. I always like if someone says to me, okay, I'm testing the watch, I'm taking off my glasses, and I try to read time. If it's still possible, the watch will be in production. If not, they have to redo something.
We do the testing, of course.
Yeah.
And because we do all the prototyping in-house, that means some of our people, watchmakers, and other people, they wear the watches a couple of months before, so we can really get all the little tiny bits out that are not good for the watch.
Okay. And then there is another version, maybe we show it. Differs a little bit to the one we have on the poster behind us.
This is the limited edition for the 30 years of the Regulators.
It's easy to read.
35 years of Chronoswiss being in existence.
And 35 pieces.
And 35 pieces, exactly. And this one here is, apart from this, which is guilloche, handmade, and a lot of handicrafts inside, this is the Highline model for 2018, which is a silver dial and has the same mechanics as this one here. Central minute hand, and then this is centralized hour and second hand. You see wonderfully the bridge with the screws inside holding the wheels.
And also showcasing part of the gear train on the dial. Great. Can we turn it around?
Yes,
see the
course.
back? Yeah. Open back. Great.
Open back. All our watches have open backs.
Yeah.
We have been more or less the first one to do this 35 years ago, trying to explain people how beautiful a mechanic watch is.
That's something I have to admit Chronoswiss did very well. Chronoswiss, I think, helped a lot for the industry in general to bring people to the fascination of watches. Because Gerd Rüdiger Lang, who founded the company, was a watchmaker, and he said, okay, let's show them what the watch is about. And I think due to the fact that he was there and doing that so successfully, a lot of people went into watches. These watches were affordable, much more affordable than many other brands, and so they could buy a nice complication, small complications, and enjoy and really get into watches. And thanks to Chronoswiss, he did a great job in the past. That company, we have to say that.
I think even though 35 years, it has been a very important brand to re-establish the mechanic watches.
Yes. Chronoswiss is among those brands who really the industry has to say thank you, because Chronoswiss did an amazing job. That's absolutely true.
These times there were only quartz watches, and we always forget that 35 years back the mechanic watch almost wasn't accessible anymore. It was gone.
Yeah, more or less. Yeah.
Half of
then
the
some visionaries, and among them was Gerd Rüdiger Lang. It's true. Jean-Claude Beaver and some others really came back and said, okay, let's do that again. It can't die, the mechanic watch. Great.
And today it's part of our daily life.
Yes. Great. The other one is a fantastic timepiece, because there is a day-night indication I really like. Yeah,
it's the other model for this year. It's also a regulator, of course, but with the complication of a day and night indicator and the date.
It is three-dimensional, the day-night indication.
Exactly. The day and night indication is a titanium plate. It's rounded.
Yeah.
The stars that you see are filled with superluminova, so they are lasered, and then we fill in the superluminova.
So they're glooming at night.
They're glooming at night, of course. And the other part, which indicates the day, is a titanium material, which is colored by electricity. So to every single watch might have a little bit of a different color, because it's done by electricity, the coloring of the side for the day.
Then you have an open work date.
We have an open work date. Yeah.
Great.
And it's flying. We call it flying because the upper part of the dial is elevated, holding up by these little wheel bucks.
Let me ask you, how many watches, if you are naming me these numbers, how many watches is Chronoswiss manufacturing today?
We're small production. We do around 2,000 plus watches. So
it's really exclusive.
It's exclusive. I was asked by somebody just this morning, so why do you do limited series? I said, because we can, because it's really limited.
Yeah.
So by definition, our watches are limited. And yes, this year we have a couple of them. But that's our size of production.
So it's really pretty exclusive in production and very exclusive to wear, Chronoswiss, end of the day. If you're looking for something special, it's a special way of showing the time with a regulator. Of course, you have other watches that are not a regulator based, but regulator is pretty special, or very special indeed. And then with that limited production, it really makes something outstanding that really continues that history.
Mm-hmm. I think so.
And you're staying on the theme of regulator.
Well, that's our DNA.
Yeah.
And as you said, we also have other watches. We have a lot of iconic pieces that were done in the past, and we do some line extensions on these ones. Mm. But in general, 70% or so is regulator type in all different means, different complications, different looks, etc. Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much, Oliver.
You're welcome. Thank you very much for coming here. And,
happy birthday.
Happy birthday, yes, Chronoswiss.
And 2012, there's a lot of things to do, so 40th anniversary. So you have to rise your numbers. With the 40th anniversary, you have to do 40 pieces then.
We'll do so. Let's see each other not only in
we
5 years,
no,
before.
Of course not, of course. Thanks. Happy birthday. Guys, have a close look to those watches. Fantastic timepieces in the sense of being exclusive, being something special. And of course, look back in the history of Chronoswiss and you will learn a lot about things that Chronoswiss has done in the past, being one of those companies bringing back mechanical watchmaking to us in a time, as we just discussed, when the mechanical watches almost seemed to die. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe on our YouTube channel and to like our videos.